Welcome to the Flora podcast, a place where we help you create a life you're excited about. Welcome back to the podcast. Today is a walk and talk episode about personal growth and development. I'm currently in California dog sitting my son's dog, who is a Husky Malamute mix, and she is absolutely adorable. I just love it. And I love being in California. It's just so beautiful. So a couple of nights ago, I was sitting here scrolling through Apple TV looking for something to watch, and I stumbled upon an animated movie called Luck. And I watched it and I just fell in love with it. And the premise of the movie is there is a character named Sam, and she calls herself the unluckiest person in the world. She is an orphan that aged out of the system and was not adopted. And she finds herself in some pretty serendipitous circumstances that leads her into this magical place called the world of luck, or the land of luck. And I love just all the plot twists and all the series of events that happen within this movie. But one of the biggest things was when she's in the land of luck, this cat that's her guide, tells her, stop trying so hard. When you try so hard, it makes it challenging or even impossible for good luck to happen. And when you just let things happen, good luck will find a way. Later on in the movie, she has a realization about bad luck and what bad luck actually means. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So recently, I was speaking with one of my clients who's been having a really challenging time just kind of pivoting and seeing the positive side of life. She's had a lot of plot twists happen, meaning a lot of change that was unexpected, and it's really caused her to think more negatively than she normally does. So one of the things that I encouraged her to do was ask herself a series of questions. The first one is, how am I resourced? Like, what are the resources available to me right now? Another one is, what is the opportunity in this particular situation? And the third question was, how can I let this be easy? And that reminded me, when I was watching this show, that reminded me of this conversation that I had with my client, is stop trying so hard. How can I allow this to be easy? Often we overthink things. And when we overthink stuff, we get into our head. We get into the space of limitation. We get into the space of what is not working. And through the law of increase, we get more of what we don't want because we're focusing so much on it. We're trying too hard. Going back to that movie where the gentleman that was sharing this with Sam said, you know, when bad luck happens, it's not the end of the world. It allows us to pivot. It allows us to see a different way, or it allows us to look for an opportunity to experience this differently. And just as that happened, the patrons of this establishment bounced a ball and it melted into a flat disc. So there was a bouncy ball, landed in something hot, melted into a flat disc. The person that was retrieving said ball grabbed the flat, hard, melted disc now and said, "Who wants to play Frisbee?" And so she saw in real time how what she would consider bad luck and how it possibly would have ruined her day or that moment, how that person decided, oh, well, now we have a flat, hard disc thing. How can I work with this? How can I work with what I have? How can I stop overthinking, stop trying so hard, and allow myself to work with what I have right now in this moment? And so that's what I would really encourage you to do, is really ask yourself, okay, so this is my life. This is what's going on. How can I work with this instead of fighting it? How can I allow myself to look at this situation for what it really is instead of what I think it means? And then how can I run with it? How can I take this and use it to my advantage? Like the ball that melted and is now a Frisbee. So I would encourage you to really look at all the stuff in your life that you think is going sideways, all the stuff in your life that really isn't working out the way that you had hoped it would work out as, and start to look at this particular thing differently. I know this can be challenging. I know that this can be hard, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. And yes, it does take practice shifting your mindset from lack into having. It can be challenging, almost like it feels like you're just going uphill and you're just like, oh, this is stupid, blah, blah, blah. Okay, acknowledge the feelings, yes, but continue. This is part of mindset work. Continue to focus on what is the opportunity? How am I resourced? How can I let this be easy? You literally have to work at this. You have to remind yourself daily about these things. And at first, if you're in a hardcore place of lack, it is going to suck. I gotta let you know that, because you're going to be like, damn it, I keep forgetting to ask myself this. Shoot, And so it's kind of like you're teetering between lack and trying to have a positive attitude and trying to think about things differently. One of the things that you can do to help yourself is to sit down with your notebook and write out all the things right now that you're not happy about. It could be your finances. It could be the state of your health. It could be the state of your home. It could be the state of your career, your relationship, whatever it is. Just write down what you're not happy with. The next thing is I want you to write down what you are happy with. Then I want you to look at the things that you're happy with. Then I want you to look at the things that you're happy with and ask yourself, okay, why am I happy with these things? Notice how your energy shifts. Notice what happens inside of your mind, your body, that like your heart space. And then I want you to shift over and look at that list of the things that you're not happy with. Why are you not happy with it? Typically, it's because we think we need to be someplace other than where we're at. And then I want you to ask yourself, okay, so what does this mean, me being here? Knowing that the only meaning that truly matters is the one that you assign to that thing. So if you're assigning a meaning to something and it makes you feel like shit, assign a different meaning. Assign a different meaning to it. Let yourself look at this list of the things that you're not happy with. Let's just say that you want to declutter your house. And you just keep making excuses. Life keeps happening. Plot twists keep happening. Things just keep happening to where you can't declutter your house. Now you're getting on to yourself. So ask yourself, what does it mean to have a cluttered house? What does it mean to me to have a cluttered house? Define what that means. Are you okay with a cluttered house? If you're like, no, I'm not okay with having a cluttered house. And what does it mean that I have a cluttered house? That I'm lazy. Okay, are you really lazy, or are you hustling your ass off in other areas of your life and the decluttering of your house is just not a main priority? Okay, that's probably what it is. You're probably kicking ass and taking names in other parts of your life, and you put decluttering on the back burner, and that's okay. So then what you could do is say, all right, 2 times this month, I am going to have a decluttering day where I do nothing but declutter. Or even just 2 hours per week where I put it on my calendar and come hell or high water, I make it happen. The first thing I would recommend that you do is get a box, write donation on it, and put it someplace where you can see it. Then every time you go into a room, try to grab one thing to put into that box. Boom, you're already getting started. You're already getting started. Baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. That's the 1 degree shift. What's one thing that I can do that's going to get me closer to that clutter-free house? Because where you're at now, you've got a house that's cluttered. Where do you want to be? A clutter-free home. The one thing you can do, put a box for clutter. Boom, perfect. 1 thing a day into that box. If you feel like grabbing 2 or 3, 4 or 5, 10, 20, perfect. Throw it in the box. When the box is full, put it in your trunk. Make a point to go to the thrift store to drop it off. Grab another box. Repeat the process. Or say, every Saturday for the first 2 hours, I'm going to grab my coffee and I'm going to declutter something. Maybe it's a drawer, maybe it's a closet, maybe it's a cabinet, maybe it's just a pile of random stuff that's just sitting there. But I'm going to spend 2 hours every Saturday decluttering. What that does is it changes how you feel and think about your cluttered house. Instead of saying, oh my God, I have a cluttered house, that means I'm lazy. And you think about it and you're like, no, I'm actually not lazy. I'm hustling my ass off in other parts of my life. I just haven't made it a priority. So you know what? Now I'm going to make it a priority. I'm going to put that cluttering or that declutter box out. Every time I go into a room, I'm going to take one thing, plop it in that box. It's going to take 2 seconds. Or especially when you're getting ready for work, look at your makeup. When was the last time you used all the random things that you keep moving around to get to the things that you use every day? If there's a dried up mascara, toss it in the trash. If there's an old lotion that has separated and it's like ancient, you can't even remember when you purchased it, toss it in the trash or recycle the packaging if you can. But give yourself permission to look at your self-talk and look at the meaning behind where you're at. Again, to remind you, so sit down, write down all the things that you don't like about your life right now, that you're unhappy with, and then write all the things that you are happy with. And ask yourself, why am I happy about and with all these things? And then, why am I unhappy about all these other things? And look at who assigned the meaning to that. If somebody else calls you lazy because your house is cluttered, that's a whole other conversation. But if you are calling yourself lazy because, and this is just one example of having, some clutter in your house. This is just one example of the many things that you could write down on a list of why you're not happy right now. But give yourself permission to redefine and really pick apart the meaning behind these things that are causing you to feel this way. I hope this serves you today. If you want my support and my help with this, I do have one spot available for my accountability coaching. I also have special rate sessions available. I have a few sessions available on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and a couple on Thursdays. So jump in there, grab these accountability sessions, grab these single sessions. They can be Zoom if you want them to be. I actually had one person message me and say, hey, can I book one of these $99 sessions and do a Zoom with you and you can help me declutter in one 60-minute session? I said, yes. And that's what she did. We got so much done. I'm so excited about it. So these special rate sessions truly are for all the services that I offer. I do have 2 websites. I have energycords.com and then I have my florasage.com. A lot of people don't know about my energy site. Click the link in the show notes. Let's talk. You are not in this alone. We are all in this together. As you know, my job, my whole sole purpose of what I do on this planet is to help you create a life and a business that you're obsessed with. Now, yes, you might not have a business. That's why I do separate podcasts for business and for personal stuff. My goal is to help you align your life. How do I help you do that? Through the 1 degree shift process. That is to help you figure out where you're at, where you want to be, and then clear that messy middle by decluttering it so that you can take those little 1 degree shifts. The reason why people don't take action is because things are too cluttered up, whether that's mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, daily stuff, digital stuff, process clutter, all the different types of clutter. I've got a couple different podcast episodes about the 9 types of clutter that are holding you back. Let me help you. You don't have to suffer alone. You don't have to sit here and waste a whole nother week. I mean, it's already the end of March in 2023. Time is going to pass by anyway. You might as well make it productive. Okay? All right. I love you. I hope this serves you. Click the link in the show notes. Let me support you. Let me help you. Let me help you make some magic in your life. Remember, all it takes is a clear vision of what you want and the willingness to take 1 small degree shift in the direction of that vision daily. To have a life and a business that you're obsessed with. And I want that for you. All right. I love you. I hope this serves you. And I will see you in the next episode. Mwah. Thank you for listening to today's podcast episode. All links mentioned are in today's show notes.